Hi guys, I'm Caitlin. I am a knitter and crocheter and soon to be mom of 4. And today I want to talk nursing friendly knitting patterns. It's something that's been on my mind for a while because really anything that I'm going to cast on for myself has to be nursing friendly, because if it's not, I'm not going to be able to wear it for the foreseeable future. So I spent a lot of time, like a couple months ago, trying to find pattern roundups or even searching on Ravelry specifically for breastfeeding or nursing friendly patterns, and I just wasn't finding anything. So I decided that I would make a little roundup myself. I've spent the last few weeks, maybe even few months, just saving patterns, searching for specific styles that are really good for breastfeeding, and I've actually ended up with over 120 patterns. So I decided that I would split this roundup into kind of different styles and different garment types. And in this video, I'm going to talk about ponchos and capes, which is a type of garment that is really, really great for nursing because you can throw it on top of whatever you're wearing, and then it kind of gives that added level of kind of privacy or warmth, but still ensuring that you have access to what you need to access. And personally, I've never been a huge poncho girly, but I feel like they're definitely having a moment in kind of fashion in general, but also specifically in knitting patterns. And so I thought that would be a fun place to start. I've collected patterns that run the seasonal gamut, I guess. I have some more summery ponchos and then transitional, and then definitely some that are kind of more winter. So whenever you're breastfeeding or having a baby, there should be something here for you. So let's get into it. Okay, first I have the Boomlet Poncho by Milote by Vic, and you might have already heard about this pattern because it's super popular right now. It's definitely trending. It's this really cute summery poncho that has an eyelet lace pattern in it, and it's adorable. I feel like so many people are knitting this right now, and the suggested yarn is Line by Sandnes or Drops Bell. So it's definitely recommended to use a summer yarn like linen or cotton, and it's worked up at a worsted weight. And I've seen this pattern, like I feel like everyone's making it right now, and I feel like this is something I would definitely want to make in general, not just because I'm going to be breastfeeding. The only thing to keep in mind in terms of wearing it as a nursing cover is it does have the eyelet pattern. So depending on your comfort level with visibility underneath the poncho, you might want to take that into account. But it's a super cute pattern, and I kind of want to make this regardless. Next is the Aether Summer Poncho by June Lagoon. And this is just a very basic poncho that's worked up at a DK weight. It's recommended to use a bamboo yarn, like Go Handmade Tencel Bamboo Double. And what's really cool is in the pictures on Ravelry, you can see that she wears it in all these different ways, not just a poncho. So she wears it as like a tube top, even a skirt. She wears the poncho in a few different ways, and I feel like that is just really cool and really like fashionable, but also shows that this is something that you could make to use for nursing, but then you'll still use it after nursing, and maybe you'll wear it in all these different ways. And I think that's really important. If you're going to knit something for yourself that's specifically for breastfeeding, you want it to be something that you can still wear afterwards. You don't want to spend all this time knitting something and then be like, okay, well, once I'm not breastfeeding anymore, I'm never going to wear it. So I really like this pattern. I feel like if you're just looking for a plain summer poncho, this seems like a great pattern. I feel like I want to make this too. Okay, next we have the Etched Rio Wrap by Sarah Smuland. And I think this is a Blue Sky Fibers pattern, and it's worked up at a sport weight. So the recommended yarn is Blue Sky Fibers Metallico. And it's also just kind of a really basic poncho pattern, kind of what you would imagine if somebody says a poncho. But what's nice about it is it's worked about a sport weight. So if you have a sport weight yarn in your stash that you want to use, you could use this pattern. Next is the Everyday Wrap by Julie Weisenberger, and this is also kind of a basic poncho. It's quite short, which actually might be kind of nicer for nursing because there isn't as much fabric to kind of get in your way. And this is worked up at a light fingering weight. So we're kind of running the gamut of yarn weights for all of these ponchos that you could use. So really just kind of based on whatever you have in your stash or any yarn that you're looking at, you could probably find a poncho pattern that's going to work for you. This one of the recommended yarns is, it looks like 2 lace weight yarns held together. So I think it's like 2 mohairs held together. Generally, I would maybe stay away from mohair when it comes to nursing because you don't want all the fibers getting on the baby, but another lace weight yarn, like maybe a lace weight cashmere, could be a good option. Next, I have poncho number 3172 by Bernat Design Studio. It's worked up at an Aran weight. The recommended yarn is Bernat Satin Solids, and this is a free pattern. And what I like about this is it does have a bit of a lace work kind of detail. And I think that that's really nice for hot summer nursing covers because it is going to allow a little bit of airflow, similar to the first poncho I talked about, the Boomlet. But like I said, that kind of comes down to your comfort level, if you're okay with people potentially like seeing through the holes, but no one's really looking. So I thought I would include that one as well because that feels like a nice option for really, really hot summer weather where you want a cover that's still going to allow a little bit of airflow. Okay, now we're getting into ponchos and capes that are more for fall and winter. This is the Langø poncho by Couture, and this is worked up at an Aran weight. The recommended yarn is Couture Tweed. And this is also just a very typical poncho, kind of what you would imagine in your head when you think of a poncho. It comes to a point here in the front, but it also has a nice turtleneck. So this is really great for colder weather. And it's really cute, it's really classic. It would probably work up really quickly given it's at an Aran weight. And honestly, this is another one that I feel like I would get a lot of use out of in my closet, whether I'm breastfeeding or not. Next is the Comfort Zone by Espace Tricot, and this is more maybe in a cape kind of vibe than a poncho, but it's similar to the one before where it does have a full, not turtleneck, but a mock neck. It has really nice ribbing detail down the shoulders, and then it has a little slit at the sides here. It seems very, very chic and very cozy. It looks very squishy. It's worked up at an Aran weight, and the recommended yarn is Camarosa Snefnug. So it's a very popular yarn. Maybe you already have it in your stash. And yeah, I love the mock neck. It just looks, I don't know, all the ribbing detail just makes it look very chic. Okay, this next one is a little bit more interesting, but honestly, I kind of love it. It's another poncho that has a full turtleneck, and it's worked up at a super bulky weight. This is the Poncho Torsades Aline M2957 by Bergère de France. And it's got really cool cable work all over it. I don't know. It's one of the more interesting ponchos that I came across when looking on Ravelry. Another thing that's unique about it is that it's not just the neck and the poncho. It actually has attached sleeves here at the end. So it would really be quite warm and useful for nursing in deep, cold winter. Another poncho by Bergère de France is the Poncho Julie M2947, and this one is a little bit lighter, but it does still have some interesting texture on the poncho, and it has kind of a roll mock neck at the top. It's like a little bit of a loose neck, but it still goes higher than just a crew neck. And so I feel like this would be a great transitional poncho nursing cover for fall going into winter. It's worked up at a bulky weight, and the recommended yarn is Bergère de France Jean. Okay, next is a pattern that I really want to make. I'm especially inspired by the first preview picture where it's worked in pink, and that is the Nina Cape by Spektakelstrik. It's just so unique. I didn't see any other ponchos or capes like this. It has I'm actually not sure what this kind of neckline is called, but it's like a ribbed neck that folds down, and then it has ribbing on the bottom of the poncho as well. It's just so chic. It looks like something you would buy at a really cool store. It's worked up at a sport weight. The recommended yarn is Raumafinol held with Filcolonatilia. And I'm sorry, this pink is so cute. I feel like this is definitely another one that would fall in the transitional. Like, you could wear it on a cool summer night, you could wear it in autumn, you could wear it in winter with layers. So this is definitely one of my top patterns in this group. This one's a little bit different than the rest. It's the twist loop collar by Other Loops, which I know is not necessarily a cape or a poncho, but I feel like because it ties under here and you can easily pull up the front, I can include it in this group. And it's just such gorgeous cables down the front. It has the nice chunky full turtleneck, and it just seems like such a perfect layering piece for someone who's nursing in the winter months, and is just a piece that you would probably get a lot of use out of in your wardrobe even after you're done breastfeeding. So this is an heirloom piece, and I really wanted to include it in this list. Next is the Chevron wrap by Yoko Hatta, and the recommended yarn is Noro Ito, which is an Aran weight yarn. And this one just really caught my eye, mostly because of the colors of the yarn, but the chevron pattern as well. It's so unique. It's just so cool. And I feel like Noro yarn is just really, really cool. And to make something in that yarn and this really nice chevron pattern, I don't feel like it's going out of style. It feels like a statement piece that you'll probably cherish for the rest of your life, but it's also super functional. So I love this pattern. This is also one of my top patterns. Next we have the Gwyneth Poncho by Wool and the Gang, and it is worked up at a bulky weight. The suggested yarn is Wool and the Gang Al Pacino Merino. And given that it's a Wool and the Gang pattern, I have to assume that it is super beginner friendly and easy to knit up. It looks pretty simple, but it's also stylish and simple and timeless. And that's what I really like about this pattern. It's nice and long in the front and the back, and since it's worked up at a bulky weight, it's really great for fall and winter. And this is another poncho that I feel like it's not going out of style. It's not anything crazy or funky or trendy. Like, this is something that you would keep in your wardrobe forever. Next is the Comfort by Paula Pereira. And this is another very simple poncho. It looks like the perfect weight for a transitional poncho for kind of autumn or spring. And the recommended yarn is Isager Boucle. I'm pretty sure held double. And it just looks so soft and squishy. It has kind of a like floppy, casual mock neck kind of thing going on. It just seems so cool and classic, but still kind of interesting. The Isager Boucle is probably so cozy. So I feel like I keep saying this, but I think this is one of my favorites as well. Okay, the next pattern is the Garterponcho by Vanja Tubin. And it's called a poncho, but to me it reads more like a cape. It's just very simple garter stitch. I feel like this is probably a great pattern for beginners. It's worked up at an Aran weight. The recommended yarn is Drops Nepal. And I feel like this is definitely more kind of what I think of when I think of a nursing cover, more than like a poncho or cape necessarily, is like it's just very simple, provides that coverage, but it has the slit so you can open it up easily. You know, this is something you could knit up and keep in your diaper bag, and it's just very functional. In terms of style, like, it's not my favorite, but I feel like in terms of function, it's definitely near the top of the list. Next is the Twig by Leslie Friend. This is another super basic poncho pattern. It has that kind of loose mock neck look, very classic point in the front. You can obviously turn it different ways to change the way that it looks when you're wearing it. It's worked up at a worsted weight. The recommended yarn is Fiberspace Scrumptious DK. And this just looks like another very simple, beginner-friendly, classic poncho pattern. Next is the My Flow Poncho by Norgardknitters. I love all of her poncho and cape design, or honestly all her designs are so cute. This one is worked up at an Aran weight. The recommended yarns are Woolia by Gepard, held with their kid silk. And what's really distinctive about this one is that it's worked in half fisherman's rib. So it really gives that like gorgeous rib, squishy fabric look. And I think it's so like chic and timeless and polished, but also looks super cozy. I know I keep saying this, but this one is definitely one of my favorites. And the neck is pretty low. It's not necessarily a crew neck, but it doesn't really go higher than about an inch. So I think this is also great for kind of transitional seasons, even a cool summer night. I think it would probably be pretty nice for. So I love this one. I kind of want to make this regardless. Like, it just is so chic and kind of timeless. Okay, another Norgardknitters pattern is My Comfy Poncho, which is a little bit closer to the cape styles that I've been seeing. It's also worked up at an Aran weight. The recommended yarn is Isager Soft. And what's cool is it kind of has this horizontal rib pattern, and then it goes down over the arms, and it has these kind of very wide open arms that aren't necessarily sleeves, but kind of give the effect of a very wide sleeve. This one is just such a cool piece. Like, you wouldn't automatically think, oh, I'm wearing this because I'm breastfeeding, but it's so functional for that also, to just have like over a nursing tank or something like that for transitional weather, cooler weather. Definitely could wear it, like I said, on a cool summer night. I know Isager Soft has cotton content in it, so you could kind of wear it for, you know, end of summer nights, fall, even probably winter if you don't live somewhere that cold. So this one is just really, really cool and unique. I love this one. Next is the Darcy Cape by leKnit. And I've seen this pattern for so long, and I've just always thought it was really cool. And I've always thought this would be something great to wear while nursing, so I had to add it to the list. It's worked up at a DK weight. The recommended yarns are Saniskar and Sunday, held with a silk mohair. It has a bit of a mock neck and kind of that classic cape pattern where it comes down to about here and then splits open down a little bit past the hips. And this is another one that's like so timeless. You could wear this for anything, but it is super functional for nursing. So had to include this one, and I'm sure it's a great pattern. Everybody loves leKnit's patterns, so I love the mock neck. It's really cute, and I like that since it's worked up at a DK weight, it's definitely, you could wear it in different seasons. Next is the Umma Cape by Ego Knit, and I've been eyeing this pattern for so long. It's just so cool, and I love how it's a cape, but it crisscrosses in the front, which makes it really easy to open up, but it also is just kind of very interesting from like a styling perspective. I think it's really cool. I love the picture where she kind of still has it covering her chest, but it's kind of pulled back, and then she has her hands like in her pockets. I just think that looks really, really cool. It's worked in a ribbed pattern, and it has I would say like not a full mock neck, but definitely more than a crew neck. So I think it's really, really cool. This is a pattern that I've had on my list for a really long time. And let's see, it's worked up at an Aran weight. The recommended yarns are Gepard, Puralana, and their Kid Silk. No, their Kid Silk Tweed. But a DK and a lace weight. So, yeah, I really want to make this one too. Okay, this is my last pattern. It's the Easy Folded Poncho by Church Mouse Yarns and Tees. And it's worked up at a DK weight. The recommended yarn is Rowan Felted Tweed or Blue Sky Fibers Baby Alpaca Melange. And this is another just like super simple poncho with a little bit of that kind of loose mock neck styling. And there's options to make it with and without the kind of loose cowl neck. So that's cool. And there's also a cable border option if you want to do that as well. And this is another one that I think would be light enough that you could really wear it in any season depending on the weather. And it just is really cute, really classic, and looks super, super soft. So those are all the patterns that I put together for ponchos and capes that are breastfeeding friendly. I hope that this was inspiring to you, especially if you're expecting a baby soon or are currently nursing one. And I put all of this in a bundle in my Ravelry, which I will link below. And please let me know if you guys have either made any of these patterns or want to make any of these patterns, are planning to, or if you know of any great poncho or cape patterns that would be perfect for nursing. I would love to know because I'm getting ready to figure out what I'm gonna cast on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next part of this series where I'm gonna talk all about wrap top style knitting patterns that are perfect for breastfeeding. Bye.